Well, as a yokel who lives on the countryside, I sometimes make a small fire, as you already have seen in another video. I hope this time it will actually start. Well, let me tell you a story about lenses and about chances that I give with lenses. And cameras, of course. You see, in theory, I could buy every lens there is, every camera there is, and I could try them all out. But I hesitate doing so, because I want a camera that is convenient. I want a lens that is convenient while actually looking good. And when I decided to buy a specific set of lenses that I did last year, I kind of scaled it out. Convenience and looks. Same applies to cameras. I like the Fuji cameras, for example. And I do not mean the H2S or whatever, the video-centric cameras from Fuji. I got the XT3. I like the haptic. I like the dials. And I did not buy the Nikon Z6 III for video. I bought the ZF because I like how it feels, how it looks. And of course it is not the best camera for video. I know. But for me it is kind of scale. I know a lot of good 3D pop lenses and I have a list. I actually got the list on me. And I know that these lenses are oftentimes pretty inconvenient. Like the Helios, for example. The Helios is pretty inconvenient to use. It looks pretty good if you get the focus right. But if not, and chances are that you do not get the focus right, then your shot is ruined. And I used this lens since 1994. I got my first camera when I was 5 years old. This was 1991. It was a Zenith E, a film camera. And the Helios was mounted. And then I began using it in 1994. Then I was about 8 years old. So I know how to focus with this lens. I know how to use this lens. But still, chances are that I missed the focus because of the focus plane. And so it is pretty inconvenient to use. Other lenses like the Zeiss 55 1.8, fantastic aesthetics. And it's pretty convenient to use if the camera is capable. What I mean by chances is that I debated getting rid of the a7S almost a year ago because it's unreliable. But still, I keep it and it's shooting me right now. With a Samyang 35mm 1.8, it's not a fantastic lens. It really isn't. But it is convenient. This thing mounted to the A6700 is fantastic. The look is alright. Of course, it is no 3D pop machine. But I rather get the shot done than wondering about aesthetics, but the shot is ruined. Like with the Helios, for example. Or the old Zeiss Planners. They are not as good as you might think, just because it is Zeiss. How they are constructed? Well, maybe they are of good quality, but the lenses to group ratio is not that spectacular. So they are not that poppy. And well, if you look at the diagram of the cross section of the Zeiss Batis 85, there are so many colors, so many different kinds of glass in it. I doubt that it has 3D pop. So it would be convenient, but see, it is expensive. And for just buying the lens and then reselling it with a loss, well, that's not what I do. I want a convenient lens that looks good. And of course, sometimes I like to step out of that and use lenses that are inconvenient. What have I done here? You see what kind of yokel I am. So sometimes I use inconvenient lenses for their aesthetics. But when I'm out and when I'm shooting some video, then sometimes it has to go pretty fast. And I need a lens that is reliable. I need a camera body that is reliable for what I want to do. when I want to talk, when I want to tell you something, and I have another channel where I only talk, and then the shot has to be done. So the combination that is shooting me right now, the a7S and the Samyang, it is the best combination from what I know for the a7S. With the Batis, it loses the focus. With the size 55, it loses the focus, it hunts. The Viltrox, forget it, the Viltrox 85. This, I say now that it works. Chances are that it lost me, even though I placed the focus field exactly where my head is, without a monitor. Well, but it is pretty inconvenient. So I need a convenient system, a system that is reliable, actually. And of course the G Master lenses, they are reliable. And I hope the microphone is reliable, because I hear the crickets, and the crickets sometimes mix into the audio, and it destroys everything. But I think it should be all right. So the Viltrox lenses, for example, they are fast, they're sharp, they're good. I really like the 85. I made a video today with the 85, and it was pretty good. It had 3D pop if you are far enough away. And this is something that applies to almost every shot. But it is a convenient lens when the camera body is capable of operating it, right? But the most convenient lenses would be zoom lenses. But zoom lenses, in my opinion, they render ugly images. Even though the G Master lenses, they are perfectly sharp. That's why they are so expensive. They are expensive for a reason. But I do not like the look of them. They're just sharp. So there is no life to that. So it is a mixture of convenience versus looks. If you have the time to shoot manual lenses, and if you have the time to plan your shot right, then manual lenses, the older ones, they are of simple design, and they will give you 3D pop because they are not perfect. It's not that the designers back then wondered, oh well, how can we make such a beautiful lens that it renders like our eye does. These lenses see the world as we do. And this is why they look so good to our eye, to our aesthetic feelings. But that's it. If the designers would have been able to construct better lenses, 60 years ago they would have done it. Personally, I think they would have done it. Why shouldn't they? So, oh boy. So, the thing with these lenses, like the Samyang here, is it's inexpensive and it is enough. And this is what this is all about today. Why isn't it enough? We're looking for aesthetics. I do. I look for aesthetics, but I invest so much time in researching lenses, calculating them and listing them and so on. While I have a 35mm lens that is perfectly capable of shooting what I want. So there is no need to look for other 35mm lenses, even though there are. It is enough. It depends on what you're doing, but it is enough. The same applies to others. You've got a 50mm. How many 50mm do you need? There is a 50mm Zeiss, there is a 55, there is a 58 Nikkor. There is a 50 Nikkor S, a 50 Nikkor 1.8, 1.4, 1.2 S. I mean, you cannot buy them all and then resell them. That's not possible. It's about the aesthetics, and if you have something to say or not. So, and oftentimes when I talk about this, of course I know the effect. I always call it medium format look. And it's strange, because modern medium format cameras, they do not have the medium format look anymore. Even though they are medium format. Strange, right? So there are cameras, like I've seen Micro Four Thirds OMD EM1 with a Leica lens that had 3D pop. So where's the medium format look gone? Maybe it never existed. Yeah, it did. So when is enough enough? I do not need another 35. I do not need another 50. I have good lenses, but still I kind of like to try them out. But not because I think that these lenses would be better than the lenses I already got. It is just because I have fun trying different things, using different things. If I would have the possibility, I would drive a different car every day, from garbage cars from 1980 or whatever. It doesn't matter, it's not about the quality, it's about, well, the complexity. There's so much to try. We gave the a7S a chance today with the Samjang. And the combo is great, I think. I have not seen the footage yet. So for right now, I think it's great. And we will switch to another camera with an equivalent focal length and see what this will give us. But when is enough enough? See, I got the Fuji 23 1.2R, I got the 32 1.2R, I think it's a 32. So these are very good lenses. I would not need the 32 because I already got the 32R. And this is kind of boring, of course, because it's nice trying new things, but it's not only about the trying. I could not waste money on something that I'm not really into. Like I could not buy a Sony a7C, for example, as a full-frame camera to change to get rid of the a7S, right? Because I'm not fully behind it. I think you know what I mean. It's a philosophical thing. And of course it's nice to have a chat about lenses. There are so many old lenses, old Nikon lenses that are good, that have 3D pop, but are they convenient? I was debating buying the FTZ adapter to mount the Nikon F-mount lenses. But then I looked it through and I found two that were of interest to me. And therefore, they are still inconvenient though, but they were of interest to me. Well, I will try some lenses, yes, but it's more about the aesthetics of what you already have. And it's a philosophical thing. Be happy with what you got. If you are not grateful for what you already have, you cannot have anything else. That's true. Now, let's see what the good old Fuji XT3 and the 23mm will present us. And there we are on the Fuji. And the 23mm f1.4 at f1.8 to match the Samjang. It should be the same look almost, at least regarding the focal length. And I hear the lens working. Why is that? Oh, I hope it guides me. It should. So, I think the Fuji look is fantastic. So, I have a good one. The XT3 is a good camera. Of course, it's not the latest model, but I think it is enough. It is enough to get some good video and photos, of course. You can only use one camera at a time. So what I did was not that smart. It's not smart, but it's fun. So this is why I got different cameras. You see, I say, well, today I will use the a6700 with the manual lens, or it's like trying around, trying out. Sometimes when I look through my lenses, I say, well, I've got everything I could ever need. And if I look for new lenses, well, I see a lot of lenses that look, well, they're expensive and they look pretty good, but there's something missing. And this is why there is a scale between convenience and aesthetics, in my opinion. G-Master lenses for Sony are so convenient, but there's something missing regarding aesthetics. At least it keeps the bugs away. Other lenses, they are not that convenient, not that fast regarding the autofocus. Why am I burning? Come on. They're not so fast regarding autofocus, but they look better. This one looks pretty good. It should look better than the Samjang. I think it's a nice trend that photographers or videographers give the cheaper options a chance, like Viltrox or TT Artisan. They made some fantastic lenses. And it's nice to see that these get a chance, because Zeiss is not always the best there is. There are some, yes, but it's not something that Viltrox or TT Artisan could not do themselves, right? And it's good to see that they get a chance to prove their look. I do not think it is about the autofocus speed, it's about the look, the aesthetics of these lenses. And with that said, of course I will try out and buy some lenses, yes I will, but it's important. Well, you see all these photographers, all these content creators on YouTube trying out a new lens every week. They get these lenses, they do not have to buy it. Well, some of them have to, but you know. And this is why they can use it. This is why they can show you and show me all these lenses. They get the lenses sent to them, they try them out and they send them back. It's perfect. I would not do that. I would not buy a lens, test it out and then send it back to Amazon. This is not right. You see, when I know that I buy the lens and have in mind to send it back, that's not right. Do not do this. You could argue, who cares, because it's Amazon, but it still is not fair, even though Jeff Bezos could celebrate a good wedding. But still, it's not about him, it's about you. You cannot buy something knowing that you will give it back just to try it out. No. So when I buy something, I buy it with the intention of keeping it or reselling it on my own dime. So I will lose money then, but I did not betray anyone. Because you would only betray yourself. What the hell? So don't do that. And this is why I rarely buy lenses. And if I buy lenses, I know exactly what I'm buying. I know that I have at least the intention of keeping the lens because I like the aesthetics, the optics, or the convenience. And this is where I struggle all the time. Convenience and aesthetics. Like for the Fuji, there is a 56mm 1.2R lens. It looks pretty bad on paper. It should not have 3D pop. So the Viltrox equivalent will also not have 3D pop. Chances are the Fuji might have some, but it is corrected and no. So you could buy the Viltrox as well. It will be as fast, I think, and as good. And it will be as convenient, but cheaper. So there's a debate. For example, I bought the Sigma 60mm for the A6700. 60mm f1.4. It's a flat lens. It's flat. It's flatness. Pure flatness. Sometimes it depends on how you plan the shot and how the lighting conditions are. But it's a wide angle lens. It's very difficult. It's not an 85. Even the Viltrox 85, which is pretty much corrected, had 3D pop if you are a good amount away. But with a 60mm, no. So it is flat, but it is so convenient. It is quiet, it is fast, the autofocus is so reliable, it never lost me. And it looks good for what it is. It's just a sharp lens. I got the Zeiss Batis, which has 3D pop. The Senjang 35mm, sometimes I saw something, most of the time I didn't. But it's convenient, it's fast, it's lightweight. I do not like the button and the focus ring, but nonetheless, I bought the Zeiss 55 for the 3D pop. And it is convenient, it's pretty light, and it is fast. So it's a good lens. This is a perfect lens. It's 3D pop, nice aesthetics. It's a quirky focal length in my opinion, but it still is good. So that's a good lens. And I bought the 85 Viltrox lens. I bought the 23 1.4R, the 32 1.4R. For the Fuji system I got some TT Artisans and no fire apparently. The best lens is, when I was younger, was a professional photographer, there was this saying, the best lens is the lens that you got on your camera, or even the best camera is the camera that you got with you. Because what doesn't matter if you have the best camera in the world but you forgot it, you know what I mean. So, convenience versus looks. And since I want to be able to shoot myself, well, no. Nonetheless, I want to make a video. by myself. Manual focus lenses are inconvenient. For the looks, Voigtlander, Weipoch, they have 3D pop, they do, or a good amount. But I'm pretty sure that most of us would miss at least one shot. And this is not something that you can rely on, so inconvenient. Sigma lenses are overly sharp and corrected, but they function. They do what they should do. They film you, and they're convenient. Well, it's a debate. I will see what I will get, but I will not waste money by buying things that I know I will sell with loss. I buy only lenses and cameras from which I believe I will keep them. Let me know what you think about that. Let me know what you think about the scale of convenience versus looks. Convenience versus aesthetic looks like 3D pop. Let me know in the comments below, and see you in the next one.